getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Oh, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday to you and yours. Welcome into On the Block. I am Austin Orman. To my left, it's your right on stream. Sipping again. Mama, there goes that man. Eric sipping. Eric Strickland.
That's a root beer.
Root.
Baby root. Yeah, man.
What's good, Stricky?
Good. Shout out to Shaky Jakey. Shaky Jakey somewhere around here, gave me a nice root beer.
As he do.
Yeah. Shout out to Fest Beer. Zipline Brewing. Good look, Shaky Jakey.
How about that?
I know Shaky Jakey got something working behind the scenes. So, let me go on and give him a shout out. He's always working behind the scenes.
When he wants to.
Yeah.
Sometimes for us. Sometimes.
Rarely for us, but
that's okay. When he does.
When he does, he does.
When he does, we appreciate it.
We love Shaky Jakey. Shout out to Shaky Jakey. What did Shaky Jakey show up on the early break? Early in the morning, y'all can catch Shaky Jakey and Jake Sorensen and the crew early in the morning. So, with him and Shut Up Sipple and good old coach of the year, Bill Busher.
Bill Bush.
Yeah, Bill Bush.
You're a morning guy, right? You're an early riser?
I'm an early riser.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wake up early. I do get a chance to peep them some in the morning and get myself and my mind right. Had a nice task. Global Open Wound Care showed up. Me and a partner of mine we had a nice open wound that we need to take care of. So, shoot Stricky a message if you have a family member or something dealing with a wound. You saw the wound is amazing. It's crazy.
Pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's a gnarly one. But we deal with that. So. Yeah, so Stricky's doing a few things, got a few things heading on to head into the weekend. What's going on with you, my guy?
Wife's birthday tomorrow, Stricky. Wifey's birthday tomorrow.
Very nice.
Husker games tomorrow.
You got a sitter?
No, we're headed to Omaha to see family. So.
Oh, okay. Show you right.
Yeah, we'll hit brunch and then I'll come in and do some radio and then I'll head up and meet him in Omaha.
Okay, high level though. You got your Colts gear on today.
I do.
Over high level, I know we're going to dig into it. This is something, we got a great show today. The draft obviously happened on last night. There was high anticipation. High level, how do you feel the decision that the Colts made on yesterday? How do you feel? Did you feel they went in the right direction? They did based on the need? You felt that they acquired what you thought?
So, yeah, let me start with the positive, right? I'll start with the positive, is that the Colts needed a tight end. I'm trying to find the stat here as we talk, something to the effect of Tyler Warren's one game against USC. Yeah, here we go. So from Mike Chappell, who has been covering the Colts since 1984, he tweets, Ballard described Warren's performance against USC as the most dominant by an offensive player in college football last season. Fun fact, Tyler Warren had more catches and yards in that one game against USC than a Colts tight end had all season. Tyler Warren in one game outproduced every individual tight end on the Indianapolis Colts roster, and they had 17 games to do it. So from that, okay, you like that. I mean, Tyler Warren was one of the best football players in the Big Ten, not just one of the best tight ends, not just one of the best offensive guys. He could do it all, and he did do it all for Penn State. So I think the versatility is good. I do think that Indianapolis and Shane Steichen is a set of players, a set of coaches that can get the most out of Tyler Warren. Whether you line him up traditionally, you use him in non-traditional ways, I think the Colts are one of the spots that can get a lot out of him. What worries me is that he's not exactly traditional, right? I think I described him as kind of the Deebo Samuel of tight ends, whereas Colston Loveland, who the Bears took, is more Mike Evans, right? You know what you're getting. He's going to be consistent, going to be reliable. I like that Indy took him because I would think they are creative enough to get the most out of him. But maybe it's because this pick was kind of telegraphed, that it seemed like this was the direction that the Colts were going to head. I'm not thrilled by it. I'm not, bursting for joy at the seams about it, but I'm also not upset. It's just like, oh, okay, things worked out like people thought they would. I'm a little worried about bust potential. There's a little bit of concern that the consistency, the stability of Colston Loveland will lead to a longer NFL career for him. But I do think that as long as Shane Steichen is in charge and the Colts have a creative play caller, there's going to be a role for Tyler Warren on the football field. Now, can they find the quarterback to get him the ball? That remains to be determined, right? With Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones there in the mix. But, I have no complaints with the pick. I guess that my own normal fan pessimism is creeping up here and there. But it's kind of weird when the board falls exactly like you think it will, and the obvious pick, kind of the no-brainer, becomes the actual pick, because I'm not like thrilled, oh, we got a steal. Oh my goodness, look at what the Colts did. They're geniuses. But it's also not, what are the Colts doing? Why did they reach for that guy? It's just kind of, oh, they did the normal thing. And that works. And Chris Ballard even said he hasn't felt that good about a pick on the offensive side since they took Quentin Nelson. And that was a while ago now, like 7-8 years ago, I think. So I don't know. Wait and see, but I'm not mad at it.
I think when I looked at it, I could see that. I mean, it's been since Dallas Clark was the last one.
Yeah, first round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
also wore 44.
We saw how that worked out for them. He ended up being and as you look at that though, do you look at him with a similar play style? Because Dallas Clark was a unique type of play, tight end for his time, right? He wasn't the traditional. Would you agree?
I can't say I watched Dallas Clark with that discerning of an eye. All I know is he ran past Jay Foreman a few times, so it's really all that matters.
Dallas was a unique. He was a unique. He had a great skill set.
He's
and I think Dallas Clark though, with his not Dallas but Tyler Warren his versatility and his ability to do a lot of different things. If you like you said, if you're a creative offensive coordinator, you're going to be able to do some things with him. Now, obviously, you got to figure out, hopefully the quarterback situation, accuracy, a lot of those things begin to iron itself out. Hopefully the running game will get the help there needed as well. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Were there, outside of the Shedeur Sanders situations, were there any surprises, or did everything kind of flow smooth?
I want to hit this from Old Dad 34. He says, Austin, the Colts got to steal if you know football. I'm not pretending to know football. I think I know a little bit about it. I'm not saying I don't know football. But what I think the value of Tyler Warren was for Penn State is all the different places they could line him up, right? He took like 40 snaps at quarterback for them last year in different packages. He's not going to be asked to do that in the NFL because the Colts have two running quarterbacks on the roster, in Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, who have long speed, but who have power and can run between the tackles, right? Maybe the Colts run some gimmick stuff, and I do think Tyler Warren's job will be simpler because I do think Michael Pittman Jr. is a good, 1B or 2A wide receiver. I like Josh Downs. I do think that A.D. Mitchell can be something, right? His separation scores, he's good at getting open, even though the production wasn't there. Alec Pierce kind of came on a little bit last year. So on the one hand, that's a good way to onboard Tyler Warren, right? Where he won't be asked to carry the offense like he was at times at Penn State, like Cubsker points out on our text line. That's not going to be his role, at least right away. But a lot of what made Tyler Warren, the more fascinating prospect than Colston Loveland was that versatility, because he can do so many things. I just don't think the Colts are going to use him in some of the more non-traditional ways. So how good is he at being a traditional tight end? Can he do the traditional tight end things in a non-traditional way? We'll wait and see. I'm excited about it. I think he's going to be good, but I also see the argument for Loveland being the better prospect than him. So there's a lot there. Definitely wait and see on that. To answer your next question, though, Stricky, any other surprises? Brad on our text line asks, what is Atlanta doing? Their first pick, Jalen Walker from Georgia. Really like that one for them. And then the Falcons make a trade, and not just any trade, but a really big trade. They trade back into the first round, and ESPN gives them an F for their trade to go get James Pierce Jr. Here's the write-up from them. I'm sorry, what? Atlanta dealt a future first rounder to move up from 46 to 26 for James Pierce Jr. There's no way to spin it. This is a poor team building choice, plain and simple. It's not that the Falcons couldn't use a second pass rusher. It's that they surrendered what could end up being a ton of draft capital. Let's break down the numbers. If we assume no discount for future picks and put the future first at pick number 16 next year, what the Falcons did was gave up an early third round pick worth of surplus value and spent more draft capital to draft James Pierce at number 16 than they did to draft Jalen Walker at number 15. James Pierce is good. Tricky, that's a huge risk, though.
It is. You better hope that it does pan out for you, because that is, you don't ever want to give up future draft capital for something that ends up not working out for you in a long-term manner. You hope that he turns into like a Khalil Mack, or he turns into what's my guy from Cleveland?
Myles Garrett.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You hope he turns into something like that,
mm-hmm.
and immediate impact.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say he's a Michael Parsons, but I think I like him. I like what he's been able to do, and I like he can be a disruptor from the edge, but that's a huge risk, to leap that high. Now, did you think he was going to stay there longer? Sometimes you kind of have these little panics where you think you miss him and you're not really worried about what the future holds, and then you kind of jump out there and know you want to fill a gap or you want to get an impact player. He's
mm-hmm.
still available. So you try to just kind of get up there and do some things. So that's possible, but you better hope it pans out.
Captain Obvious says, what's a bigger surprise than the Falcons trade is that people are surprised they made such a dumb move. Now, to be fair, the Falcons had one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL last year. They needed help there. But they valued James Pierce that highly with, Ezeraku from Boston College, who led the FBS in sacks last year. Mike Green from Marshall was still on the board as well. It's not necessarily what they did. It's what they gave up to do it, who they traded with, why they decided they had to go back to back to get those guys. And again, if it works out for them, more power to them. Congratulations, you did it. But if it doesn't work out, you had more holes than just edge rusher. You have a rookie starting quarterback next year. You probably could have done something else with that draft capital.
Yeah, and so the way you've got to look at it too is you're hoping for immediate, like I said, impact.
Yeah.
Why? Very weak division.
Mm-hmm.
Very weak division, and so you're probably eyeballing it from a standpoint of, let's take advantage of the weakness of the division now. And these areas shore up speculatively, shore up areas in which we felt if this could have been better here, then we feel offensively we're going to be okay. You hoping, like you said, Penix, definitely pans out. Do you feel the skill positions are in a good? Your run game is going to be fine. Bijan's fine, but how do you feel about the exterior of the skill positions?
Right. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Maybe the biggest trade, though, Stricky, let's talk about the two biggest trades here, especially the one in the first couple picks. The Jaguars trade up from number 5 to number 2 to go get Travis Hunter. So the Browns trade back from 2 to 5. The Jaguars give up number 5, obviously, as well as number 36, number 126, and then a first-round pick in next year's draft. In return, they get number 2, which turns into Travis Hunter, the 104th and 200th pick in this 2025 NFL draft. I was a little surprised by this one. I don't know how many people saw this coming. Good on Jacksonville for going to get their guy, whether it's to play with Trevor Lawrence or be on the other side of Tyson Campbell at corner. Either way, they went up and they got Travis Hunter. A little curious on Cleveland's part. That's another place that has more than just one hole to fill. If they trade back and they're the team that traded away the chance to get Travis Hunter, that's not going to look good. But I don't necessarily blame Cleveland for doing that when they have more than one hole.
So you have a new defensive coordinator down there in Jacksonville, and Anthony Campanelli. Is it Campanelli or Campanelli? Is it Campanelli or Campanile?
I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah. So they have a new defensive coordinator, and with that, I can see him having a great impact on. I can see them using him both ways.
Yeah, I
think he'll have a greater impact on the other side. I think they feel they've missed their once in a lifetime type of athlete by not really being able to take full advantage of Jalen Ramsey. But you saw defensively, now this is a different coordinator, so we don't know, but we saw defensively how they used him and how they were able to be effective with him. Took him deep in the playoffs.
Yeah. AFC Championship
right there on the verge, right? Of breaking through. So to me, I think they're looking at it from the same standpoint. Weak division, hopefully a transcendent, once in a lifetime type of player, impact player, can help us in that area to go there. They're looking for a spark. They've struggled. They haven't been able to really do much. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, but they really haven't been able to do much down there in Jacksonville. My dad now lives in Jacksonville, so I think I'm going to pop in and check out a game or two. But yeah, I think they're figuring we need to make a move. Now he's a Florida kid. That's another thing, obviously he passed up Florida State to go to Jackson State. So I think they were just saying, hey, let's make a power move right now. Now I think the Browns are smart. They needed a lot of just extra stuff in their coffers because I think they felt that we need to get some capital.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go back to this ESPN article and their write-up on this. They said it's essentially a slight overpay for Jacksonville. It gave the Browns surplus value worth essentially a top 10 pick. So, okay, you paid a little bit, but it's Travis Hunter. If you're right, he's going to make that value up just like that. It won't take long. But then on the Cleveland part of things.
Pause. You better hope that he doesn't have off-field stuff.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm not going to say this is the case. He's getting married in May. End of May, he's getting married. Listen, I don't care what anybody says. Off-field issues or situations or family or things that you deal with, it can affect you. Now, we know that he's dealt with some stuff while he was there and still performed, became the Heisman, won all kinds of accolades. Okay, so we know, mentally he has capability, but we're talking about another level. We're not talking about Big 12 competition and so forth and so on. We're talking about next level competition. And I think he's astute. I think he's a studier. I think he's a hard worker. If you're dealing with off-field stuff, he can play with your head. We know who that happened to, your boy Bryce down in North Carolina. A lot of that off-field stuff initially, then he got a hold of it and started to get better. So I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but that's what you're hoping is not the case, where there's some forms of drama that can throw him off kilter.
Absolutely. Back on Cleveland then to wrap up this trade, the ESPN write-up says, one can't ignore the value of the package the Browns received and how convenient this trade is for their timeline. Cleveland badly needs a quarterback and didn't have a great chance to pick one at number 2. This deal allows the Browns to strengthen the roster this year, and they can still draft a quarterback in the early second if they choose, and then have extra draft capital to potentially draft a quarterback next year. Because the Browns slipped past the top-tier player segment of the draft, we would have kept trading. Doing so could have set in motion a plan to land a ton of value over this and next year's draft. Instead, they sat still at number 5 and selected defensive tackle Mason Graham. To be fair, it's not always possible to make a trade down early in the first round. In Graham, the Browns get a consensus top prospect at a spot where the Browns could use a star, but he's not on the same overall plane as Hunter and might have been on the same plane as players the Browns could have selected after trading down yet again. So a step in the right direction for the Browns. They didn't maybe go the full way in hoarding as many picks as they possibly could, but Stricky, the part that our text line is buzzing about, everyone's been buzzing about it. We got to bring it up. It's one of the stories of draft day. No Shedeur Sanders in the first round. Browns didn't take him at 2. Browns didn't trade down further to get him. Pittsburgh doesn't take him at number 21. New Orleans doesn't take him at number 9. Your reaction to Shedeur Sanders slipping to potentially day 2 or beyond?
Again, I think there's a lot of factors that played into it. One, you know that he's a solid quarterback. The question that I think people have in their mind is, has he peaked?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he already where, at his highest level? So do you want to risk the first round of that at someone that they believe has peaked now?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's some similarities in Cam Ward and him as far as not necessarily mobility, but their upward trajectory, obviously coming from Incarnate Word and then just kept
Wazoo, Miami,
trekking up, right? And you've seen that there's been a consistent as far as his work ethic, his abilities, his leadership qualities, and that's one of the things that I think Mario Cristobal and all of the Miami staff continuously talked about. I'm sure he interviewed well. I don't really know how that went, but I'm sure he interviewed because he's very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
The unfortunate part of it is there are individuals out there, whether it be hate or not, there's still that voice genesis, right? You are guilty until proven otherwise. It's an unfortunate deal. So if somebody throws something out there, word out there is that there are some executives, one executive, they didn't say specific who it was, but one executive stated that probably one of the worst interviews that he's had in an over decade career in doing so. Thousands, I'm sure, of interviews that he's had. And to say it's the worst. Body language was bad. Questions on the leadership, acting like, the entitlement. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case, but the word is that's how it is. Now, here's the capper. Okay, if it was a one-off, you might give benefit, but then you see it. You've heard the interviews. You've heard after games. You've heard, you see the arrogance. You know that there's going to come something with it. Not necessarily entourage, but what comes with it. All the glitz, glamour, shine, glows, brother. All these different things that come with it as well. So is he capable of leading your team? And those are the questions that you have. So not that he can't play. You just say, are we willing to risk this type of capital early on when we can get him late? Now, I think if you're looking at Shedeur, you're probably looking at he goes off the board this round. If he drops, there's other questions, but I think you got to be looking to the Raiders. People are asking the question. It's very unfortunate that last year's draft was very heavy in the quarterback spot. So there really was only a few options for him early on. And once those passed, lastly being the Steelers. So we talked about that. We know that they're looking to get Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, that's something that they're going for. Yeah. So they felt probably in their mind's eye that getting somebody in the first round that high, even though we thought that it wouldn't be a bad deal, so to speak. But now they've moved on. So I think you got to be looking to the Raiders. The Raiders definitely have a need. I think that's a good spot. Obviously, the city fits for them. And the Raiders is one of those teams like the Cowboys that just don't give a flying.
Right.
They're
right.
like, we don't care. We'll take them, type deal. So that's probably where you better be. I think they're at 36 or something like that. Keep your eyes on that for second round action potentially.
Second round will start at 6 o'clock here tonight. Let's go and take our first break of the show. Lots more to get to when it relates to the NFL draft. Plenty more comments and questions from you on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. And a big thank you to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for their sponsorship of On the Block. Back in just a sec.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Billy Currington is back on tour. Friday, June 13th, Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneer Park. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers this morning with patchy fog possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high around 60. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 44. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with a high near 63. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Spring is right around the corner, and now's the time to get your John Deere mower prepared for the grass to turn green. To get you ready, Acres reduced the price of its John Deere mower blades, filters, belts, and home maintenance kits by 15%. Gator UTV maintenance parts are also 15% off. Regular maintenance will keep your John Deere equipment going for years. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Offer expires May 31st, 2025. Visit your local Acres for details or go to acres.com to start shopping today.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Rolling right along here during On the Block. We're with you till 5, old school until 6, quarter 3 till 6:30, and then later tonight, 6:40 pregame, 7 o'clock puck drop for the Lincoln Stars in the Western Conference Finals. If you want to go to the game, we got tickets. You got to pick them up at the studio, but we got Lincoln Stars tickets for tonight. Hold them up on stream. Where's the camera? There we go. Tickets for tonight's game. You want them? Come get them. Obviously, the game here on the radio, but if you feel like you want to go grab a bite to eat, you're hanging out with family or friends tonight, and you still want to watch the Lincoln Stars game, the place for you to do that is Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill down at 27th and Jamie Lane. They will have tonight's game and tomorrow's game of the USHL Western Conference Finals on TV. They will also be carrying Husker volleyball against Kansas down there at Liquid Assets. They've got 30 TVs, 23 beers on tap, and some of the best food you will find at a sports bar in Lincoln or beyond. Check them out, Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill, Lincoln's newest and best sports bar at 27th and Jamie Lane. Stricky, the other quarterback we should probably talk about before we dive back into the text line, Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
The GM's kid posted the video on Instagram, morning of, went private and everything with a Jackson Dart hype video. Giants take Abdul Carter at 3. Then they trade back into the first round to go get the guy they view as their quarterback of the future, and that is Jackson Dart. They trade with the Texans. Giants get number 25. They give up number 34, number 99, and a third-round pick in 2026. Interesting move from the New York Giants. Didn't see it coming. Don't love it. Don't hate it. What about you?
Same. It was a surprise. It was a surprise. But they haven't seemed to fare well in that department very, very much as of late. Now, here's the thing. Is Jackson Dart ready for the New York blitz? And I'm not talking about coming off the edge or hitting A gaps and B gaps or whatever. I'm talking about the media, the Big Apple, Jackson Dart. I think, what is he, from Utah? Is he? I think he lives in Utah.
Believe so.
Again, this is another one of those situations. Is he going to be captured by the culture craze of what New York can be?
Yeah.
Like it really does take a special type of person. Now, people are going to say, well, Eli Manning did it. Well, he had some bouts with New York too.
Right.
And they killed him. We've heard Jay tell some stories. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, too, we are you going to throw him into the fire? Are you going to slow groove him in? Are you going to let him compete for it? Is he ready for that? Are they ready? And did they prepare with line and, special players on the, the wide receiver room? Is it ready?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think Jackson Dart is like one who can. Well, let me ask you this question: do you think he's accurate enough for guys that are not able to get separation?
I don't know. I do have a little bit of a Nico Yamaleva alarm bell ringing in my head, because that's another guy who put up some really good stats. Most of it came against bad teams. Right? Obviously, you're playing upper level competition in the SEC. He's tested, right? But he's got to prove it against top competition. And that's where I think, Strick, the Giants are in a pretty good spot to do this, because they don't have a full core. But if you look at what they do have, right? Andrew Thomas is pretty good at left tackle. Malik Neighbors is obviously pretty darn good. Pass rush was now Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. probably need another receiver or two, maybe running back, and you can always fortify the offensive line. But at least for 1 year, you can give Jackson Dart the opportunity to sit, learn from Russell Wilson, learn what to do and what not to do from Jameis Winston, right? Who's certainly at least a professional, if nothing else. So of all the teams that could have taken that risk to trade up and get a guy that they can probably play in case of emergency, but really can afford to allow to sit a year, I think the Giants were pretty well positioned to do that. The problem is they gave up a second-round pick and a third-round pick to go do it. Again, if it hits, it looks pretty good for the Giants. But if Jackson Dart's not the one, the Giants weren't just a quarterback away. So I think they could have put this year's third-round pick to some pretty good use to help filling out the rest of the roster.
Okay. Cool. There it is.
Elsewhere in the first round,
were you surprised by how many linemen went? Are you surprised by the Genty move?
Are you?
It's going to be interesting to see.
I don't hate it. I'm surprised by it. I don't hate it.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's been a while since two running backs have gone this high in the first round.
Hampton's good too, man.
But
He's
I like
good.
Hampton. I actually like Hampton. I actually like him. I think he's got upside. I think a big win and a needed win, and I think it's going to be a helpful win because I actually think he's going to be okay. Is Green Bay getting Matthew Golden?
Okay.
Because I don't think they had a one. Now the question is going to become, is he able to become a one? The other surprise for me, and here's why I say that, because I actually thought he has more ability to separate. I think he has a little bit more upside. And for Teteroy McMillan to go 8th to Carolina, I understand the size. I understand the catch radius. I understand all his abilities, but what he didn't show is an ability to separate. So how are you going to use him? Where is it going to make sense? So those were the kind of couple things, especially on the wide receivers, that I was kind of thrown off by.
Carolina, too, a team that really could have used some help on the defensive side of the ball. But Stricky, they went kind of the Cincinnati Bengals route. Let's get our young quarterback another weapon. I would even throw Tampa Bay into that mix, right? Going out and getting Emeka Egbuka to add to that wide receiver core, even though you could say Tampa Bay might have needed something at all three levels defensively. That one I was a little bit surprised by. That's not a comment on Emeka Egbuka either, who's going to be a solid, sturdy, dependable player pretty much from day one in the NFL for my money. But that's not the way I would have seen Tampa Bay going. We've got some Ashton Jenney thoughts on our text line here, Strick. WIB says, as a Raiders fan, I hate the Genty pick. Raiders needed offensive line more. It's interesting because on the one hand, it was a deep running back draft. If you wanted a running back or needed a running back, you were probably going to be able to find one. And I still think the NFL is leaning in the direction of running backs are pretty easily replaceable, almost no matter how good they are. If the offensive line is good enough, if the play calling is good enough, pretty much any running back that's NFL caliber can make it work. The Raiders taking him at 6 are betting that he's next level special, and he might be. I don't know if I would have taken him that high, but I do hope it works out because Ashton Jenney is so fun to watch. And we know Pete Carroll, the head coach there, even Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator. They're not afraid to lean on a workhorse back. So I get that you can always want more offensive line help. That's never a bad direction to go in the draft. I just hope it works out for Ashton Jenney because of how fun he is to watch. I don't want him to get the bust label slapped to him, you know?
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, again, Raiders is trying to find themselves again. And I'm trying to figure out, where was Bijan drafted?
By the Falcons, like top
8th
10.
round too.
Yeah. First round, number 8.
First round, number 8. So they're kind of around again, it's based on need.
Yeah.
It's based on need. Again, a lot of people thought that they would go quarterback. Right? And that's the risk that I think people passed on. And this is why I think the Raiders are eyeing probably Shedeur more in the second round. Why? Because you get him a good run game he's better.
Mm-hmm.
If you hopefully get him some good line play, I can't remember what their line looks like now, but
Cleveland's is fine.
Not Cleveland, but Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. WIB says it's not very good, or at least could be better. But I think pretty much every offensive line in the league could be better.
Yeah.
That's what fans would tell you at least.
Yeah, so that's something to eye on. But he's up there with Bijan. I think Bijan is very versatile. I think Bijan, to me, is very much kind of like Kamara.
I see it.
Can catch out, can run. Is Ascengenti that versatile? That's you know what I mean?
We'll see. I mean, I think
he's
there's
like a little
potential.
bowling ball, like you said. He has great balance. Pad levels stay quite low, obviously at 5'8". We're gonna see.
Here's another thing that tells you about the state of running backs in the NFL, Stricky. Ashton Gentry's rookie contract guarantees him the second most money of any NFL running back right now. He steps into the league as the second highest paid running back.
Which is crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Nuts.
Life-changing stuff. And again, that's at the beginning. Now, I don't believe at the running back position we'll see another Zeke Elliott type contract. So it's good that he's able to get off to a great start early. And if you can put numbers up, at least you can maintain your level. At least your agent will be able to have the discussion at the level. There's another thing. I also think where Shador and Shiloh made a mistake is by not hiring agents. That's a mistake. Because
Cam Ward didn't either, did
he? But again, that's fine. But I think if there's noise out there regarding you, you're not interviewing well, so that they say you did your pro day, you didn't really do anything at the combine.
Yeah.
Which is only interview. So then if that comes out bad without anything to show and kind of balance it out.
Right.
So it leaves a nasty taste in people's mouth. Pause. So from that point, I think that you want somebody to be able to talk for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone to help you control the narrative.
Yeah. You want somebody in the ear.
On your corner.
Yeah, man. That's what I think makes the difference. I mean, you're going to go high, but how can I stay where people perceive me to be? How can I have conversations with teams that may be thinking a certain way? Because I got to be able to tell the story of not just the numbers.
Yeah, but of the player.
Yeah.
Of the person. Other picks wrapping up the first round here, Stricky. I really like Malachi Starks for Baltimore. I think he and Kyle Hamilton together in that defensive backfield will be fun. And then you wonder how good teams stay good. It's by getting value picks. It's by taking advantage of other teams either underthinking or overthinking it. What the Eagles and the Chiefs did for the final two picks of the night is borderline criminal. Number one, good on the Chiefs for, the Eagles want to make sure they get their guy in Jahad Campbell, linebacker from Alabama. So the story goes that the Eagles called the Chiefs. They didn't discuss players, didn't discuss names or anything. Brett Veach just asked Howie Roseman, you want offense or defense? Roseman says defense. Chiefs were going to go offense. So the Chiefs said, okay, sure. Yeah, we'll give you this pick. And they get a fifth rounder back just to move back one spot. That's just good,
Still
simple
gonna get
business.
their guys. Great business. But that's what they are.
But on the other hand, Philly goes and gets their guy that they wanted, who was a pretty consensus top 15 guy at number 31. And what do the Chiefs do by trading back one pick? They get the guy who coming into the year was OT number 1. Yeah, okay, he's got to come back from an injury, but they're comfortable with it. And maybe some people have some maturity or character concerns with him. What better place to try to get over that stuff than Kansas City with that offensive line group, that offensive line coach, and that standard in that building?
Yeah.
Tricky. That's how good teams stay good.
Yeah.
By doing smart stuff, yes, but by doing common sense stuff.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, we've seen it over the years as to why a lot of people really had their eye in the NBA on San Antonio, because They weren't spending a whole bunch of money, but they were maximizing. They were drafting guys like Kawhi Leonard, who has absolutely revamped himself in this NBA playoffs, so to speak. I mean, I know we're going to get into it, but boy, he's looking like Toronto Kawhi right now, the way he's playing. But that's what good teams do, especially good teams like Kansas City. And they understand that they're heavy loaded, obviously through Patrick Mahomes with Kelsey. They've got some unselfishness in those groups. They found gems in free agency and draft and non-drafted players. And, they've maintained the defensive side. Like, they've understood the balance of strong defense, and then there's times where you pull guys in for short-term gain, like Tyrann Mathieu at one point. And, you keep Jones, which no one thought they were going to be able to do. They figure it out, man. They do their homework and they figure it out, because there can be a laziness. And I think for in a lot of ways, the Cowboys have become that. They become lazy. They kick the can down the road so far to where they end up getting hit upside their head because they don't think through the full details of things.
Yeah.
And you end up overpaying for guys when you could have got them at a better value. Because guess whose contract right now is looking better? Kansas City's with Mahomes. He's not the highest paid guy, but he's well paid guy, and he's still performing at the top level, but not necessarily having to be the highest paid. So yeah, smart teams do that, Austin.
They absolutely do. Let's hit Mississippi Mud Dogs text here before we get to break. Our resident Packers fan says, was nice seeing Amon Green, our very own Amon Green, on the stage. And I really liked Clay Matthews trolling the Bears. That's pretty funny. And then Mud Dog says, if the Chiefs said they were going offense, then why did the Eagles trade? The Chiefs didn't say that, right? The Chiefs asked the Eagles if they were going to select offense or defense.
When they said defense, they know
defense,
their guy was going to stay.
And the Chiefs said,
he's not going nowhere. Yeah.
Now, maybe that should have been a trigger for the Eagles. Oh, they're that willing to give it up like that. Our guy's probably going to be there. But that must tell you, Stricky, either they were in the heat of the moment, they didn't hear, they didn't think it all the way through, or B, they really wanted Jihad Campbell. And as soon as the Chiefs said, sure, the Eagles were like, okay, yeah, let's do it, because they want to make sure to get their guy.
Well, there's two parts to it, right? We all know that there's games that they play.
Yeah.
There are games where they'll tell you one thing, but all of a sudden they'll snatch your guy.
Especially a Chiefs team that's been more defensive oriented recently.
Right? Or they'll throw something out there to get you off of them, and then we know that there's games that are played.
Yeah.
But with them, they took the risk. They knew they wanted their guy. They felt that was another way, and they didn't feel that fifth rounder was going to affect them. For them, I think they feel that they're in a great space of depth, and we don't necessarily need to take on salaries down the line. They feel good, and I think they feel good about free agencies, about guys that they could probably find that are free agents or don't make it. I think they feel confident in that, and so that's why, you could pull the trigger on that deal.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal
for
anyone by any means. Both sides got what they wanted. And typically that means it was a pretty darn good trade. Gorilla Bear, we see your text on the text line. I think that's an interesting one. Plenty we can talk about there to wrap up hour one of On the Block. Then in hour two, Nebraska men's basketball adds another transfer, and Robin Walsh of Husker Online put out some interesting numbers that some people kind of fired up. We'll dive into that and a little bit of the NBA playoffs in hour two. But we're hitting the Sutter Heyman Jewelers text line to wrap up hour one in just a sec.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers this morning with patchy fog possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high around 60. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 44. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with a high near 63. A meteorologist, Kyle Plecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired.
paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
One final segment for hour one of this fantastic Good Sense Friday. It was hitting, Stricky. Good Sense was hitting.
Good Sis was bopping.
It was vibing. It was bopping. It was hitting. It was smacking, all the above.
Yo.
You know what they do?
See, Stricky trying to keep his summer sexy.
Yeah, and that's what Good Sense is about. Fresh ingredients.
Absolutely.
Per day.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love Good Sense. The sandwiches be so amazing. I just got to be real. I'd be scared because it's so so big.
It's a big sandwich. They do
it's
not
a big
skimp.
sandwich. They do not skimp on the
toppings.
The toppings, the meat,
any of it.
You leave out, like, I literally could eat just one part of it and be straight.
Yeah.
For some time.
How I feel.
Shout out to Good Sense.
Mm-hmm. One more thing from the NFL draft for this hour. Of course, keep your comments, questions coming here. This is from Gorilla Bear. How about the Broncos loading their defensive back room to counter Herbert and Mahomes? Broncos take Jahdae Barron out of Texas in the first round. Strike. That's a guy that can really move.
Yeah, he can do it on the DB.
High IQ, good teammate sort of thing. And it's interesting to see that being the direction that the Broncos take. Because on the one hand, do you fight fire with fire or do you fight fire with water? Do you know how good that defensive backfield has to be, how good that pass rush has to be to slow down Mahomes? Even her, I'm a Justin Herbert guy. I think he's a really good quarterback. It's interesting to see Denver go that direction instead of, hey, let's get more weapons for Bo Nix so we can keep up with these teams. It's been really hard for defenses to stop them in years past.
Yeah, I mean, they're stacked.
Yeah.
They're stacked on the DB side of things, and even in the division, I don't think there's a big worry. I mean, Worthy is coming along pretty nicely, but I don't see that there's a crazy threat. I agree with you. I mean, if you feel Cortland Sutton and those guys, to me, Cortland Sutton is a straight line guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a guy that's going to super route run. I don't know if there's anybody. You're right, man. But is this a receiving group that you would want to take a risk? Like, who could you see interjecting themselves? And I don't see Tutterow and McMillan. I maybe you could look at who, like, really who in the first round that you feel you could take a risk, especially at that position. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand why they would go that way. Really be stocked because there's decisions to be made on the DB side of things, on the defensive side of things. How do you feel about their pass rush? Do you feel it's adequate with Denver?
Pull their roster again here.
Do we feel that Denver's? What do you guys think? 402-464-5685. Do you feel that they're, Denver? I mean, we kind of keep an eye on Denver stuff. Do we feel that their defense, especially up front, is adequate? I think their linebackers are okay. I don't got a problem with that.
Fine.
It's
doesn't
fine.
necessarily.
There's no game changers.
Not Von Miller style like they used to have.
Right? There's none of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have to do it collectively. Now you've got to then turn to how do you believe in the D coordinator over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you believe in his abilities to just are they going to a bend but don't break mentality? You know what I mean? Are they going with shedding things down, field position, and just try? I mean, we've seen that work. We've seen the question that I will ask all of you that are listening, as well as my partner in crime. I wish Jay was here. I could have asked him, but that's okay. I'm not coming at Jay because Jay has stuff. Jay has stuff to do.
Where are you at?
But
it's NFL Draft Day 1 reaction in night 2. Where you at, Jay Foreman? Where are you?
So I will say the question would be then for me, does the old Baltimore model work in today's game?
What do you mean by old Baltimore model?
The old Ray Lewis, Baltimore or the old Legion of Boom model.
Yeah.
Does those models work today?
I think in the right circumstance they can. I still think that what history would show you over the last 10, 15 years of football, the offenses that go the furthest are the most explosive and consistent offenses, right? And how do you do that? Being able to throw the ball in any condition, right? That's the most efficient way to move the ball in the NFL. You have to be able to run situationally. You have to be able to stop the run. But really what we're seeing win, Strick, is an explosive and consistent passing offense and pass rush, more so than anything else, right? I know the cliche defense wins championships, pass to score, run to win, that sort of thing. And there's certainly a time and place for a run game. I mean, look at the defending Super Bowl champions with the Eagles, how heavily they leaned on Saquon Barkley. But I think
which is out of the norm, so to speak.
For the last 10, 15 years.
Come on,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Because it's been the more explosive offense. You've seen this in college football. You've seen this in the NFL. The more big plays you can get in the pass game, and the more consistently you can throw the ball, regardless of weather, that holds up, right? So trenches is obviously important, right? Get after the passer, protect the passer, and run game's important, but not as important as being able to move the ball in chunks through the air has been.
Pause. That's the pause. I love when Austin does that. That cracks me up. So anyway, Austin. So here's the pause. Does with now the way that the game is set up, Austin, do we say that the football equivalent analytically is what you just said about big chunk plays? The same as NBA 3-point big chunk or big three analytics. Is that kind of a similar equivalent when you kind of look at them cross sports?
I think that football has swung back a little further, because what football and defensive coordinators specifically were able to do, Strick, was play more cover two. And that prevented some more of those big passing plays, which is where those intermediate, just on schedule passes came into play. The NBA hasn't had that defensive stylistic adjustment like the NFL has. So I think the NFL's already started to swing back that way a little bit, right? Okay, you're going to give us, 2 high safeties and a light box. More teams were willing to run the ball. So running the ball got more efficient this year than it was in years past. Whereas in the NBA, what's the stylistic stopper to the 3 ball? You don't have one yet. The Thunder are trying to find one, the Magic are trying to find. That's a lot of long, lengthy defenders. But that's not a scheme, Stricky. That's drafting, that's personnel. Not every team is going to have that stable of athletes on the floor to stop it, but every NFL team can play cover 2 if they want.
You ready?
Hit me.
Tinfoil.
Okay.
Stricky going tinfoil right now. 402-464-5685 if you feel me. Check this out. Let's go back. Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
You just told me a little rundown as to the swing back, why that we haven't found it yet, such and such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is possibly another thing that teams are looking at. Is he's too reliant on the big play? Because one of the things, if you go and look at Colorado's style, right, it was quick hitters, slants, bubble screens, any type of screens, quick outs. But what you rarely saw from Shedeur, deep, why? You had to ask the question. If you go and look at the tape, you have to ask the question, why are there so many sacks? Holding the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
Is he searching for the glitz glamour where the NFL is uniquely different, and what makes Tom Brady great? Tom Brady was great not because he was only tossing balls up to Randy Moss on 65-yard bombs where he's mossing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No. He was great because he had running backs and shifty Julian Edelman type guys in the slot, Welker type guys in the slot that can break and get open, and they would nickel and dime you to where you were like, we've got to hold guys down. We've got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Not even necessarily the run game was crazy, but they used the running backs in different ways against matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when he'd hit you with the big bomb.
Creep up.
But he would dump, get it off, find somebody, throw it away. The question, and I'm not saying he's not, but when you look at the film, you have to make this assessment. Then the question becomes, is Shedeur capable, willing to learn that? And I think that's possibly, allegedly, why people passed. Because they think he's probably looking for, now his percentages is going to tell you something different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Best FBS completion percentage of all, 71%. So we know that's intact.
Yeah.
But there's other parts to it, I think, that come into play.
No, I think that's fair. And I would say I don't think Shedeur is just a big play merchant. I think one of the questions with him was arm strength, right? Good accuracy, pretty good touch. Can he throw the deep ball? But how reliant was he on yards after catch? If he doesn't have those playmakers, if he doesn't have one-on-ones, can he consistently stay on time, on target, marching offense down the field? Because, Stricky, that's what Patrick Mahomes had to learn. That's what Josh Allen had to learn. There's a time in a place in the NFL for
to take your shot,
for the schedule maker, right? The guy that keeps you on schedule.
Okay.
I think it's easier to learn how to do that, and that's the basis of offense. To me, the guys that struggle most in the NFL are those boom or bust guys who don't always bring enough boom to offset the bust.
Your boy learned that too, Jalen Hurts. Go ahead.
Big time.
Big time.
So I think it's honestly easier to rein it in than it is to expand it out.
Yeah.
So I think Shedeur would be able to step into an NFL system right now, but I don't think his ceiling is the same because I don't think you can just magically add more of those big plays. I think it's easier to do what Mahomes and Allen did in rein it in a little bit and learn to manage.
Man, I know we went over, man.
That's okay. That's really good discussion
That's good stuff.
on the NFL draft. I'm sure we'll keep that coming here throughout the second hour of the show. We'll talk some Husker hoops, some NBA as well. As always, 402-464-5685. Hit us up with your comments or questions. We'll get to you in hour two.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Oliver, left circle, wrister, he scores! Lincoln wins the Anderson Cup. Join us at the Icebox this Friday and Saturday as the Lincoln Stars take on the Waterloo Blackhearts in games 1 and 2 of the Western Conference Finals. The Stars are on the precipice of reaching the Clark Cup final and need your help to have a true home ice advantage. The puck drops at 7:05 Friday night and 6:05 Saturday night. Lock in your seats now at LincolnStars.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
That it is, hour 2 of the show. We're switching gears for now from some NFL draft chatter to some college and professional basketball. If you have any residual NFL draft thoughts, that's all right. Send them our way, 402-464-5685. I'm Austin. He's Strick. Plenty to get into here in the next 45 minutes or so before Old School. Both On the Block and Old School are brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. They got 3 locations here in Lincoln and 1 up in Omaha. Go to themercadobutcher.com to learn more today. Well, Stricky, we think Nebraska men's basketball is probably pretty close to rounding out the roster. Huskers pick up another transfer late last night in the form of Jared Garcia. He's a small forward / power forward. He's bounced around a little bit. A former 3-star recruit out of Katy, Texas, according to On3. Number 3 prospect in the state in the class of 2020. Here's the thing, Stricky. Former teammates with Bryce Williams at Charlotte. He was there for 2 years. Then he went to JUCO, and then last season played for Tulsa out in the American Conference. Listed at 6'9", 245 pounds. There's some more front court depth for Nebraska, and I think gives them really what they were looking for on the interior, right? Not a guy that I would expect to play heavy minutes, but when you need a bruiser, you need a bulk, you need a big body. That's when I think Nebraska will really be using this Jared Garcia fellow.
So there's a couple things to think about here, right? If you look at the roster distribution chart in the tree that Nebraska has, there's only 1 freshman there's a redshirt freshman, well, 2 freshmen, but one's redshirt. Frager's a redshirt. Quentin Rhymes is a straight freshman.
I would bet he redshirts, but we'll see.
Probably, maybe. 2 sophomores, 4 juniors, and then you get 7 seniors. So that's one area in which you're looking at Nebraska wanting to get seeing the landscape of like the Auburns and whatnot. Now, the difference between them and others is they're not able to go out and land the big names. But we also know that the big names don't always pan out. Hence, Dickinson, Hunter
AJ
Dickinson.
Store.
AJ Store, right? So it's not always about
Coleman
the hunt,
Hawkins.
but you better hope that you are doing very good, having good diligence, and really doing a good job of looking at deeper parts of the intangibles, making sure it fits. Because we know that one thing that has been for certain, and 2 things that have been for sure, is that Nebraska has made a decision on the style of which they're going to play. No matter what the situation is, it seems as if they're going free flow style, wanting some versatility from their front court position players and the ability to shoot.
Yeah.
This young man has it. Not that it's been translated, but he has the potential. So now we're going to be watching how Nebraska, because they're probably didn't have to pay these guys heavy NIL deals,
right?
But they fit the style and mold because Rick Mass ain't but 6'9".
Nah, he's
Rick Mass about 6'9", 6'10", maybe 6'10". He is not 7 foot. 6'11".
No, he's not 7.
So he's closer to 6'9" to me.
Okay.
Big body, 6'9". Maybe you can give him 6'10" and some big,
in platform shoes.
Yeah, them shoes.
Hater.
So here's what you've seen. You got away from the players that didn't really fall, because guess who Derek Walker is? 6'9", versatile.
Yep.
Good body, and can do quite a bit of things. Now, his numbers isn't going to tell you a lot. So you're gonna a lot of the guys' numbers that have come in, you're going to be looking at. You're just going to be saying, "Oh, okay,
Yeah, whatever.
all right." So again, that shows you the style. It shows you that you better hope you get buy-in, and you better hope that those guys are able to perform, because now you have a bunch of guys that are really not guys that can go get it. There's nobody on this team that literally can go get it. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
There's really not. Even Cale Jacobs said, I like him. I think Cale is crafty. I don't think he's a go get it, but he's crafty. I think Hoiberg is crafty. Asijan straight dart thrower. Rink is crafty, even with the size, but can stroke.
Yeah.
And Burukdengel is that you're hoping he takes a step up. Now you're hoping Burukdengel takes a step up.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to play Rink and him together. Like you want to be able to do that. So there's no one else that really gives you that break. The only one that really can kind of break a defense down, who is it?
Jamarcus now.
Jamarcus. And I can understand why you would bring that, but I bet you didn't have
Maybe
to pay
Kendall
him.
Blue, we'll see.
Maybe Kendall Blue. But I bet you didn't have to pay Jamarcus crazy.
Right.
Which is good. So I think they're being frugal with the money. They're not being tight, but they're being. I think they're being frugal with the money. Outside of, I think still Burukdengel, if he does not elevate and you're not on him to get, if he doesn't stay in Lincoln and we're getting work on him, if you let him go back to Turkey and be there all summer, unless he's playing in some form of a world championship league, like Casey did, and when he came back at his best, and Rink did. If he's not doing something like that, he needs to be here. Right?
And even if he is doing something like that,
he still needs to be here for a
get
good
back,
portion.
get here.
Right? So you look at it, it's definitely tailored towards the maturity. It's tailored towards balance. It's tailored towards style. And that's what it looks like to me.
When I see Jared Garcia, his numbers, Strick, were the best of his career last year. 9.6 points, 3 rebounds, down a rebound a game from the year before. But he shot 57% from 2. 64% of the free throw line. Did take about three-pointers per game, only made 29% of them. But right now, Strick, he is a better career three-point shooter than Josiah Allick. I think Nebraska went out and got another Josiah Allick. I don't think Jared Garcia would have been necessary for Nebraska if Boyik Jungel could have played that role.
Right.
But because
good point.
But because Boyik Jungel couldn't slide into that role, or he didn't at least.
Yeah.
Right now, I think that Nebraska is trying to get back to that 23-24 model. Jamarcus Lawrence as Jamarcus Lawrence, Kendall Blue as Bryce Williams, Esijan as the shooter. You got Garcia to do the dirty work like Allick, and then Rink Mast as Rink Mast. You can start to see the outline.
Come on.
For that, right? And maybe Price Sanford is a more offensive-minded version of Juwan Gary. Not the same player, but same sort of buckets.
And not defensively. That's what they were hoping.
Griffins.
Yes! That part. See, we on the same page. We're
are
talking.
So, Nebraska makes the tournament in 23-24 with this model of team, at least hypothetically. Stricky, right now, Bart Torvik projects Nebraska as the number 12 team in the Big Ten.
That means out of the Big Ten tournament.
No, 15.
Oh, that's right.
So
15.
they're in right now. He has Nebraska ahead of Washington, Oregon, Northwestern, Penn State, Minnesota, and Rutgers. But Strick, here's the interesting part about this. 12th in the Big Ten, on its face, you're saying, step forward, but not exactly inspiring. But Bart Torvik says 12th in the Big Ten is good for 38th nationally. That's borderline 9-10 seed range. Bubble team. What's more important to Nebraska fans? Making the NCAA tournament or finishing higher in the Big Ten?
I think once you've got a taste of being up there in the top tier of the Big Ten, and then getting to dang near the semifinals and almost getting to the final,
20 minutes away from
you're
it.
right. I think they would like that with a combination of getting in, and I still believe this with all my heart, man. I think it's matchups for Nebraska. Again, the model is clear. You can see it by who they're bringing, but what they didn't do that they did the year before is they didn't take care of home.
Right.
So they have to get back to that. Home is what's the movie, Austin? You ready?
Home is where the heart is.
You ready? Home. I need the precious. The precious. You seen the movie?
Gollum.
Yeah. You seen it?
Oh, I'm all about it. Yeah.
That's what it's got to be to you. It's got to be precious. Like it's got to be, I'm willing to lay it all on the line here at home. It was too porous. It wasn't the same. And they can't have those ebbs and flows. They have to have a consistency.
Yeah.
You have to still be able to go on the road. You need to be go on the road. If you have a 12 mentality, you need to be on there beating Washington, Penn State, Minnesota, Rutgers. You got to go on the road and get them. Yeah. Those are the ones, if you got them on the road, I don't know I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but if you go on the road, you got to get, those have got to be gets. And then you've got to sneak this and get, you have to get, I think you probably need to get, Illinois is going to be tough.
Illinois went full Balkans this year.
Yeah.
They had a lot of itches.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
I still think Purdue's going to be solid. They'll be cool.
Purdue's the number 2 team in a lot of people's preseason top 25, and I am not
buying it. I'm not buying
rolling.
it. I'm not rolling
They'll
either.
be good, but
you got to get Iowa. So that's one you got to get. You got to go get in Iowa.
Yep.
You got to go get
Iowa, for reference, for Bart Torvik, is ranked 3 spots ahead of Nebraska in the Big Ten, but 28th nationally. Around Nebraska, it's Iowa at 28, Indiana and Darian DeVries at 32, and Maryland just 1 spot ahead of Nebraska at 37.
DeVries is going to be a good coach, and I think he's going to bring talent. So that's tough. Yeah. So I'm not gonna put that on a sweep, but I think you got to get them at home. Then Wisconsin, I think you got to go try to get them. You've got to win at least 2 to 3 of those type of games. Those 50-50 games.
Well, let's get into that here, Stricky, because last year at home, right, when Nebraska didn't take advantage of it, lost by 3 to Rutgers, Shouldn't have let that
Should
one
not.
slip. Lost by 5 to USC.
Should not.
Should not have let that one slip. They end up in the crown like Nebraska does on the other side of the bracket. Lose by 8 to Maryland. Okay, that's a top 25 team that was pretty darn good. But you had them. You had them. Had them for a while. Michigan, 49 to 46.
Had them. And it was late.
Every opportunity.
Mhm.
Every opportunity to win that game. It didn't do it. Then you turn around a week later, or end of the week, you lose to Minnesota in a game that maybe the biggest trick off of the season. Maybe the biggest trick off of the season. And then Iowa, you don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 opportunities
Mm-hmm.
that Nebraska had at the end of the year. That if it takes advantage of,
if you just win
2
4 of
them,
those, yeah,
even 2,
yeah, 2,
let alone
right?
4.
Right.
4, you're super safe.
Right.
2, you're talking about it. Flip that with 23-24. At home, what did Nebraska do? Beat Michigan State, tournament team that I think ended up winning the game that year. That was pretty darn good. Nebraska beat
Purdue.
Indiana. Nebraska beat number 1 Purdue. That's one of those that you go and you get. Beat Northwestern, beat Ohio State, who wasn't very good at that point, but you still beat them. You beat Wisconsin at home when they were number 6 in the country. You took them to overtime. You had Illinois on the ropes on the road, and you couldn't finish that one off. You lose that one by 3. You lose to Northwestern, and then that's when you put Josiah Alec back in the starting lineup, going a win streak then of 4 games to end the year. Lose at Ohio State, beat Rutgers, and then you win on the road at Michigan for the first time in program history. When I look at the Big Ten, according to the projections this year, Strick, I'm not confident Nebraska would beat Purdue, but you never say never. Michigan's reloaded. They're really interesting to me. Can Nebraska, gum up the game again like they did? UCLA, we'll see. I'm not sold. Michigan State, not going to be the same look.
Revamp.
Not going to be the same look at all. Ohio State should not be the 5th best team in the Big Ten for my money. That one should be gettable for Nebraska wherever it is. Illinois, we'll see. USC's doing some interesting things, but I'm not a full believer in them quite yet. I've stopped believing in Wisconsin for a long time. If Nebraska gets Wisconsin twice, you got to split that one. Plain and simple. Iowa's going to look so different from one of the fastest tempos under France, one of the slowest under Ben McCollum. But regardless, I think that the way Nebraska built the roster to bring it all back together, I can't tell you what the overall defining strength of the team is, but Strick, 2 years ago, Nebraska played a lot of matchups. And I think Nebraska will have an answer for almost everyone on the schedule if everything works out right.
You just gotta
it works.
Again, you've got to hope that the guys that are coming in understand the culture, they buy in, and you hope that you don't have the aversion of the Verge, Bryce, McGowan's go free for all. I'm going for mine. I'm trying to raise my NIL. That's the dynamic that I think we don't look at, is that there are guys that have a mental capacity to go try to get there. And I think this is why if I'm them, I'm okay with getting more mature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're more mature, those guys are not necessary there, because you can sell the story as a coach. Also, I'm gonna let you get in. You can sell the story as a coach when you're mature about what winning does for helping you to get to the next level, even if it's overseas.
Yes.
Right? Losing does nothing for you, and it doesn't matter what type of numbers you put up on a losing. But if you're a winning team and you can do some significant things, it can actually help you collectively to get to another level of professionals.
Big time. Big time. Stricky, is Nebraska as a program in raise the ceiling mode or raise the floor mode?
I think they're in raise the floor.
Okay.
I think they're in raise the floor. I think okay. The reason I'm going to say this is because we've talked about it before, and the listeners who are the blockheads, and you guys are very good at understanding where I'm coming from. Raise the floor is like me going up in Monaco and peeking in. They didn't let us in to sit down at the table, but we got
that looks like fun in there.
Yeah. They got that when they had the success that they had, because that was the people and everybody. They were just, there was nobody that believed it, thought that it can happen. There was nowhere in their if they would have put a bet up for Nebraska landing in the top 4 of the Big Ten that year, you would have made a mint. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No one believed it.
Yep.
So you got a taste of that, but then you kind of back to life, back to reality, right? And so now it's like, okay, we saw it. We got a peak. What do we need to do to raise the floor to where now we can then look to raising the ceiling? I still think that money's going to be an important thing for Nebraska basketball, not to go out and throw it away like, James Harden in, one of them clubs.
Right.
But
hey, he's kind of balling right now in the first round. We'll get to that,
he is balling. Yeah. John Morant in one of them clubs.
Shotgun Willies.
But we've got to, they still need to find one or two of them guys.
Ceiling raisers.
Yeah. Them guys. One. If you had one. So do you think Bryce McGowan was a ceiling raiser?
Yeah, I think he was.
Okay.
I really think he was. I think that's kind of a boomer bust sort of player that I still wonder about a second year.
I think he should have stayed.
I still wonder.
I still think he should have stayed.
Still really wonder. And he's been tearing it up in the G League to his credit, but for the good of Nebraska's program and himself, but certainly for Nebraska, I think that year would have gone. Just real quick before you jump in.
No, I was just going to say why. See, it took that time that you could have been here putting in that work, making good NIL, and then pop. And then now you would have been more apt to take that leapfrog in less time. Go ahead.
Right. I think it's still raise the floor mode for Nebraska as well. Because when you get more mature, you kind of know what guys are. That's what we said about last year's Nebraska team coming in. We don't know what their upper level is going to be, but the bottom shouldn't drop out. A 6-game losing streak is the bottom dropping out. Losing, 4 in a row then to end the year? Winning the 4 in a row, losing the 1 at Ohio State.
Was it 5?
The year before.
It was 5.
Yeah, it was 5.
Yeah.
You lose
5.
a 6, and then another 6 at the end of the year is a 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen for an older, mature team.
Yeah.
If you can stop a losing streak at 2 or 3 games instead of letting it continue to 4, 5, 6, no matter how ugly that win to end the streak is, that's what a mature veteran team should do, should find a way to do.
What is that, Austin? Twisted Sister. We're not gonna take it. Oh no, we're not gonna take it. That's the mentality you gotta have to not have. You gotta come to practice with that.
We're winning this game, come what may.
What may.
Nebraska doesn't always have that this year. All the time. So I do think I'm with you. Nebraska's got to raise the floor first. And I think that's what getting another Josiah Alec type in Jared Garcia can do for the Huskers. So good discussion there. I'm sure we'll keep talking about that throughout the offseason, looking to get some Husker beat writers on in the next week or so as well to get their thoughts. So definitely stay tuned for that. Talk some NBA playoffs when we get back to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers this morning with patchy fog possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high around 60. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 44. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with a high near 63. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back on the block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you another 20 minutes or so here for the show. This segment is brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallow, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on not just something, not just this thing or that thing, on everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Learn more today by giving them a call at 402-430-3852 or by visiting online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Stricky, let's start with maybe the soul-crushing loss last night. The Memphis Grizzlies are up 26 points on the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're down 2-0 in the series. OKC dominated the first two games. Looks like Memphis was about to get that get back. Maybe it's heart of a champion from the Thunder. Maybe it's a loss of focus, and surely John Morant and the fall that he took from Lou Dort certainly did not help Memphis's case. You're up 26 points, and this is your chance to crawl back into the series. Just how deflating and demoralizing is a loss the way the Grizzlies suffered it down 2-0 in a playoff series?
Yeah, it's tough. It's unfortunate. You go back home, you're hoping to do what you got to do there before you go back on the road and hopefully steal one. But that's the lay of the land. But Ja is one of those guys. He is a tough matchup. He's a guy who's going to put pressure on you, and there's really no one on that team that's like him. Right. It really allows a staunch defensive team like Oklahoma City to just hone in. So you literally turn a focus and a dotted eye on he's got the funny shot from Texas TCU.
Desmond Bane. Yeah.
Right. So you're able to really go to lockdown mode on him. You don't have much because he's not a traditional back to the basket guy in Edey.
Right.
You now can run off Jaren Jackson and really do rotate. There's a lot of things you can do once you know that John Morant is not getting deep penetration pulls on on your defense. So there it is. It's unfortunate, but they got another opportunity to go at it. But we knew the writing was on the wall with this. I mean,
right.
Oklahoma City's that they're legit. They're that good, and so I'm sure they're going to want to close this out, get rest.
Well, especially because their next round opponent, Strick, would be either the Clippers or the Nuggets. And despite the way last night's game went, a 34-point win for the Clippers, I still have a feeling this series goes for a while. And if you're OKC and you can get 4, 5, 6 days off more than your opponent has, yeah, you worry a little bit about rust. But man, that'd be huge for a 1 seed to have home court advantage and be a little bit more rested. But how about the Clippers, Stricky? They're balling. They're on a roll right now. They surge to the 5 seed. They steal a game in Denver. They win by 34 last night. And I think we're starting to see the Clippers went with a little bit more of that UConn against Zach Edey game plan, right? Let big fella get his. Jokic goes for a triple-double, 23, 13, and 13. But not anyone else really killed the Clippers in this game. What do you think is the best way to defend Nikola Jokic? Do you think the Clippers can afford to run that same strategy out in game 4?
So here's the deal. To me, it's very unfortunate because I think Mike Malone is he's a guy who, with adjustments, is very good. Mm-hmm. He's a good coach. He's a good guy at doing that. Not having him and how everything kind of played its way out, mm-hmm. it's left that kind of void, I think. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of preparation. And they're doing the right thing in the way that they're handling them. I say Kawhi Leonard is become he's looking like Kawhi of old. I don't know if he's just like, is this contract coming up or something? You got to ask the question like, there's something about it right now that he's playing on another level. And they're doing a really good job, I think, in the way that they're defending Jokic. But I also think that the others are not. I mean, Aaron Gordon got off to a tremendous start in that game as well. I mean, they just weren't able to keep it going. But shout out to James Harden. He's doing something. He's not being himself. He's doing himself a service with the way that he's dropping dimes. That's the success that he's had for them. But their team is actually playing pretty well. They've kind of figured it out. But Teron's a good coach too, so he's gonna, strategically do what he has to do to keep them to hopefully win this series.
Knicks take down the Pistons 118-116. Nearly let it slip, did the Knicks. They were up pretty big at the half. They're up by 13, but Detroit crawls its way back into the game. That's a 2-1 series in favor of the Knicks right now. Tonight's games, you have the Celtics at the Magic, you have the Pacers at the Bucks, and the Lakers at the Timberwolves. Few stats I found online here, Stricky. Through the first 9 games of his playoff career, my boy, P5, Paolo Banchero of the Magic, 28.6 points per game, 56% true shooting, including 42% from 3, 9 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game. P5 is going to be something, man. He's going to be something. I think if Orlando gets a little more shooting around him, that's going to be a dangerous team. They had a chance. With Jason Tatum out to steal that second game there in Boston, but Jaylen Brown went nuts. And Stricky, it's pretty impressive that Jaylen Brown, I think, is playing the way he is with that bum right knee. You can really hardly tell, I think, in most instances that he had a shot in it before the playoffs.
That Jaylen?
Jaylen.
Yeah. No, Celtics. This is nothing new. I mean, we thought that maybe they would be able to make it. We talked about what we thought they would need to do in order to do it. They just haven't been able to do it at this point. Boston's straight legit. The games that I'm watching for is definitely the 3-6 matchup, both in the West, the 3-6 and the 2-7 with Houston and Golden State. But Jalen Green came out like gangbusters in the last game. Is it going to be a continuation? What adjustments is Golden State? Because we know that they're going to make them. What's that going to look like? I thought defensively they played well. Also made things tough. Obviously got testy with Draymond Green and all of that and that whole situation. But did you see the LeBron James look at the camera?
Oh my gosh! I wonder if you can bring that up. That was so funny.
I'm glad Jay's not here. Yeah, he would have made an excuse for that. Right?
Bruh.
Like, come on, my guy. And that's the problem that a lot of people have about him is stuff like that. Like, come on, my boy.
It was really funny.
Yeah, it was funny though. It was good.
Let's go and take our final break of the show. Wrap up the week for On the Block right after this.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Oliver, left circle, wrister, he scores! Lincoln wins the Anderson Cup. Join us at the Icebox this Friday and Saturday as the Lincoln Stars take on the Waterloo Blackhearts in games 1 and 2 of the Western Conference Finals. The Stars are on the precipice of reaching the Clark Cup Final and need your help to have a true home ice advantage. The puck drops at 7:05 Friday night and 6:05 Saturday night. Lock in your seats now at LincolnStars.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The Husker Games are coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the events? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No party or tailgate is complete without it.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey, what are you talking about over there? Huh? I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
One final segment for the week here for On the Block. We'll get into old school Corner 3 Lincoln Stars hockey coming up. Speaking of the Lincoln Stars, if you want to watch the game, best place to do that is at Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill. They're located at 27th and Jamie Lane. They'll have games 1 and 2 tonight on one of their 30 TVs, on many of their 30 TVs. In fact, sure the NFL Draft and Major League Baseball will be on some of those other TVs as well. They will also be carrying Husker Volleyball's match against Kansas tomorrow night as part of the Husker games. They got 30 TVs, 23 beers on tap, and some of the best sports bar and grill food around, not just in Lincoln. Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill, Lincoln's newest and best sports bar, 27th and Jamie Lane. Stricky, we've talked a lot on this show about the need for more rivalries, some more verbal sparring, some more animosity between teams. Might we be getting that between the Cavaliers and the Heat? Darius Garland was asked about the Cavaliers' success. He says, we pick on Tyler Hero and take care of the ball. Don't play in tight spaces and pick on their weak defenders. Tyler Hero claps back. Somebody who doesn't play defense shouldn't be talking. He doesn't play any defense. We'll see that tomorrow. A little spicy.
I love it.
It's not much, but it's a little something.
I love it. Yeah. Come on. You know what I mean? Give it something, to make you. That's really what it was. A lot of guys didn't hang with each other. They knew each other. They were cordial with each other in specific events at All-Star games. And even then, you came together. There was still some air in the room, but you were cordial because ultimately you said, we're going to bind together this time and go whip those dudes from the West. We're going to let them know who the best is. Or the West was like, about to give them that work tonight. Gary Payton looking over there like, who am I going to strip today? John Stockton looking, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I'm about to have fun tonight. I'm able to drop it off to David Robinson plus my guy and then run, we're running these guys, I mean, it was one of those. So there was the competition there that led to All-Star games because it was chippy still. So they would still talk some smack across conferences at that point. Yeah. I like it because that's where it came from. Yeah. He come down to paint. We're going to get him tonight. You know what I'm saying? Guys really had a competitive, itch where they look you in the eye and they like, yeah, you going to feel me tonight. But they're expressing it. And I like that. So, it makes me want to tune in.
Heck yeah. What you got this weekend, partner?
Pretty chill weekend.
Love it.
Yeah, nothing too special. I might go sit on a patio somewhere and watch some games and have a little cigars. Any sippy? Clicky for Stricky. No sippy sippy. No tippy sippy. Okay. Clicky for Stricky this weekend. He did come through with a great Strix pick. Yeah.
Is the Tempranillo, the Tridente.
Yeah. I'm sipping on that when I get home.
Get out of here. Go get you some. Easy Strick. I'm Austin. Thanks to everyone for tuning in here on the block. Thanks to all our great sponsors, Certified Piedmontese and Mercado, Sartor Heyman Jewelers for our text line and video streams, Allo Channel 961, Heartland of Nebraska Windows, Good Sense, Love Volleyball, Omaha. The list goes on and on and on. Old School, me and Jay coming your way in just a minute. Corner 3 at 6 and some Lincoln Stars, 6:40 puck drop at 7. Talk to you soon. Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much